選ばれしこの道をひたすらに駆け抜けて頂点に立つと決めたよ力の限り先へ本気の夢があるから何も恐れたりしないこんなもんじゃない本当の私見せてあげる一生に一度きりの今を後悔したくない誘拐事故を言葉にしたら世界は動き出した最速の輝きこの手に掴み取って新しい幕開けを越えて進んでゆこう馬スポーツ
Welcome everyone! We have concluded the first round of Season 6 of UUC and now we move on to the semi-finals where it's only the 12 trainers left, divided into two groups, semi-finals A and also semi-finals B, to see who will be the final 8 in this season's of Uma Sports Uma Musume Championship to fight in the finals to see who will be the overall winner of UUC. And just to remind you of the 12 trainers in the semifinals, we got Fish, Pineapple, Kenpui, Rendienzo, Makishi, Hurricane, and Syndex in group semifinals A. And moving on to the semifinals B is Tsubaki, Katachi, Brian, JS, Jin, and also Knight competing to see who will get one of the top 4 slots that will be the trainer that will advance to the finals. The top 4 will be taken out of these groups. It's 6 each, so 2 each group will be going home early, and then the top 4 will be advancing to the finals. And without further ado, without waiting any further, we will start in the Sprinter Stakes in a few moments' time, starting in the Group A race. Group semifinals A race. In the Sprinter Stakes, of course, we are going to be in the Nakayama Racecourse to see which of the Umas in 1,200 meters of turf will win the first race in the semifinals. Of course, we are going to have 6 races total in each group, divided across 2 race days. And it's not that many races if you count it out, so every trainer will have to make every race count here. There's no place to hide. It's only the Umas that will be the one that will bring the points to the trainers. And let's see who brings the most points in the group semifinals A race in the Sprinter Stakes to start off race day number 6 or the first race day in the semifinals. Here we go, this is where the Umas will be lining up for today's Sprinter Stakes in the group semifinals A race. In gate number 1, we have the Oguri Cap of Rindy. In gate number 3, we have the Mihono Bourbon Valentine of Fish. In gate number 4, we have the Nishino Flower of Syndex. In gate number 5, we have the Hichiake Bono of Hurricane. In gate number 6, we have the Oguri Cap of Syndex. Moving on, in gate number 7, we have the Sakura Bakushino of Hurricane. In gate number 9, we have the Current-chan of Kenpui. In gate number 10, we have the Taiki Shuttle of Fish. And finally, in gate number 11, we have Nishino Flower, and in gate number 13, we have the Silent Suzuka of Kenpui, and the Nishino Flower being the Uma from Rendienzo. And there we go. That will be those 10 Umas. Unfortunately, we don't have Makishi for this Sprinter Stakes, but let's see if he joins late in the tennis show spring and also the Teo show that will be starting for the group semifinals A as well. But we'll see the developments for that. But for now, we will start the Sprinter Stakes in group semifinals A. Here we go, we arrive here in a very sunny Nakayama racecourse. It's a very short race, 1,200 meters of turf will be the race that determines who will take the first race win in the semifinals. Of course, in Group A first. Of course, we have the Umas lining up in the gates. We have the Oguri Cap of Rendienzo being number 1 favorite, and number 2 favorite is the Mihono Bourbon Valentine of Fish. Let's see if they live up to the hype once we see the Umas across the finish line. Here we go. The gates are about to go off, and the Umas are about to start the race. The gates are off and they're away. It looks like an early lead by the Silent Suzuka of Kenpui, but has been overtaken by the Mihono Bourbon Valentine. Looks like the Mihono Bourbon Valentine of Fish Pineapple is currently in the lead, but Silent Suzuka has retaken the lead, as it looks like Silent Suzuka and Mihono Bourbon Valentine is trying to fight for the lead, but Mihono Bourbon Valentine goes into the lead, and into the mid race we go. It's still Fish Pineapple's Mihono Bourbon Valentine is currently in the lead, as we see here. Amongst the pace chasers, it looks like the Oguri Cap of the Silent Suzuka of Kenpui is still in second place, but we'll see some late surges by the pace chasers and also the late surges if we have one as we go into the last straight here. It's going to be, let's see here, it's very hard to see, but it looks like the Mihono Bourbon Valentine is still in the lead. But look at that, we have an Oguri Cap surging into the lead and taking the win, and that is the Oguri Cap of Syndex taking the win. What a brilliant win there by Syndex, taking an early lead with second place going to the Myeonbern Valentine of Fish. And in third place going to the Oguri Cup of Rendy. As we see the result here we go. In black and white, we have the Oguri Cup of Syndex taking the first win in the semifinals, with second place going to the Myeonbern Valentine of Fish and third place going to the Oguri Cup of Rendy. There we go, what a race there. It looked like Myeonbern Valentine was going to win for Fish, but the Oguri Cap of Syndex was just too powerful in the last spurt and also in the last straight, as she takes a brilliant win for Syndex. Fourth place going to the Hishiakebono of Hurricane. In fifth place, going to the Silent Suzuka of Kenpui. In sixth place, going to the Nishino Flower of Rendy. In seventh place, going to the Nishino Flower of Syndex. In eighth place, we have the Current-chan of Kenpui. In ninth place, we have the Sakura Bakushino of Hurricane. And finally, in 10th place, we have the Taiki Shuttle of Fish. There we go. What a race that we have there. Of course, the sprint races are always exciting to see, as you never know. You never know who's going to win, who's going to lose. You never know when the upsets will happen, as it was agonizingly close from the Myeonbern Valentine of Fish, but it had to be the Oguri Cap of Syndex taking the win there. But of course, that is not the only Sprinter Stakes race that we'll have today. We will have the Group B race as well, Group Semifinals B, that is. And we will be swiftly moving on to that race. We will still be in the Nakayama racecourse for that race. As we will have the live footage for the Group B race in a few moments' time. And here we go. I'm hearing we have the footage now, as we see where the Umas will be lining up for this race in semifinals B. And here we go. This is where the Umas will be lining up for today's Sprinter Stakes race in semifinals B. We have the Air Groove of Night. The Air Groove of Night in gate number 1. In gate number 2, we have the Silent Suzuka of Katachi. In gate number 3, we have the Oguri Cap of Katachi. In gate number 4, we have the Fujikiseki Ballroom of Jin. In gate number 5, we have the Taiki Shuttle of Tsubaki. In gate number 6, we have the Air Groove of JS. Moving on down the order, we have the Silent Suzuka of Jin. And in gate number 8, we have the Fujikiseki of Night. In gate number 9, we have the King Halo of Brian. In gate number 10, we have the Nishino Flower of Tsubaki. In gate number 11, we have the Agnes Digital of JS. In gate number 12, finally, we have the Air Groove of Brian. And there we go. That is where the Umas will be lining up for today's Sprinter Stakes race in Group Semifinals B. And let's move on to the pre-race where the Umas will be lining up to the gates. And we'll see who will win in today's Sprinter Stakes race in semifinals B. Here we go. We had quite an exciting race in semifinals A. Let's see if anything similar is being offered to us in the semifinals B race, as we're here once again for the Sprinter Stakes race. Of course, here, as you can see in the going into the race, seeing where the Umas will be lining up, we have a lot of UGs in this race. Let's see if any of the UGs, the UG ranked Umas, will be taking the win here, as the two Silent Suzukas are the favorites. And let's see here, the Umas are going to go off the gates in a few seconds here. The gates are off and they're away. It looks like an early lead by Airgroove, it looks like initially, but has been taken over by the number 2 Silent Suzuka of Katachi. Is currently in the lead, being followed closely by the Silent Suzuka of Jin, currently 1 and 2. And as we see here, going further back in the field, we have the Fujikiseki Ballroom of Jin, currently taking 3rd place amongst the pace chasers, and in 4th place it looks like the Fujikiseki of Knight, following closely behind there. As we see here, not much happening at the front here. Still a Silent Suzuka of Katachi with a strong lead, but let's see if any of the pace chasers can do something about it. As we see here, oh, look at that, Agnes Digital is currently making the move, but has been blocked by Taiki Shuttle there. As we see here, is currently Silent Suzuka there, but oh, look at that, in the inner rail, we have Fujikiseki Ballroom and also Oguri Cap taking the lead from Silent Suzuka and taking the win as well. That's the number 3 Oguri Cap of Katachi taking the win. And not only it is a win by Katachi, it is a 1-2 there. Katachi taking a dominant win there. After not winning in the round 1 races, he takes a brilliant 1-2 in the semifinals. There we go, look at that. Amongst many respectable trainers, Katachi takes the win, with Silent Suzuka in 2nd place. The Umas of Katachi going very strong in the Sprinter Stakes race. He takes a strong 1-2. It's going to be very good for his challenge on taking one of the top 4 slots going to the semifinals. Of course, the Oguris are proving to be very strong in these sprint races. 2 for 2 now. The Oguri Cap of Syndex also winning in the group semifinals A race, and also in the semifinals B race we have another Oguri Cap winning, but it is the Oguri Cap of Katachi taking the win. In 3rd place goes to the Air Groove of JS. In 4th place we have the Fujikiseki Ballroom of Jin. In 5th place, we have the Air Groove of Brian. In 6th place, we have the Silent Suzuka of Jin. In 7th place, we have the Fujikiseki of Knight. We haven't seen an Uma by Tsubaki so far. In 8th place, we have the King Halo of Brian. In 9th place, we have the Taiki Shuttle of Tsubaki there, finishing only 9th as his highest placing here. And in 10th place, we have the Nishino Flower of Tsubaki, only taking 3 points from the sprint race. Of course, we know this is a sprint race, but let's see if that's gonna affect Tsubaki in the next few races. We have Agnes Digital of JS finishing in 11th place. And in 12th place, we have the Air Groove of Knight. Of course, that means that we have concluded these sprint races. And moving on from the shortest G1 race in Uma Musume we will be moving on to the longest G1 race in Uma Musume. Yes, that is right. We are going to move on to the Tennosho Spring. Of course, 3,200 meter turf of the Kyoto Racecourse. We will see which Umas will be taking the win, of course. In the sprint races, it's all about speed and power, but in this race, it's going to be about which of the Umas will be showing their endurance. Of course, the Umas will see. They will balance between speed, power, and also stamina in the Tennosho Spring, of course. And of course, we're probably going to see some Umas running out of stamina. Of course, it's a very long race here in the Tennosho Spring, and that's not accounting the debuffers that might be brought by any of the trainers here. As moving on, as we see any confirmations of Makishi entering, it looks like Makishi is still not entering in the races. As of course, it's going to be very interesting to see which of these trainers will master the long G1 race here in the Tennosho Spring. Of course, longer than Kikukasho, but we'll have the group semifinals A race for the Tennosho Spring in a few moments' time here. As we're hearing that it doesn't look like Makishi is going to be entering in the semifinals A race in the Tennosho Spring as well, so the show must go on, and we'll see here which one of these 5 trainers will be taking the win in the Tennosho Spring, as we will have live footage from the Kyoto Racecourse in a moment's time. And here we go. This is where the Umas will be lining up for today's race. In gate number 1, we have the Narita Taishin of Hurricane, and in gate number 2, we have the Mayano Top Gun of Randy, the 2 end closers starting in gate number 1 and also in gate number 2. In gate number 3, we have the Oguri Cap Christmas of Syndex. In gate number 4, we have the Agnes Sakyon of Hurricane. In gate number 6, we have the Marozensky Summer of Kenpui. In gate number 8, we have the Kirasan Black of Syndex. It's interesting to see here, the front runners looks like they're starting around the outer gates, and the 2 end closers are starting in the 2 most inner gates. That's very interesting by the RNG. In gate number 9, we have the Kirasan Black of Fish. In gate number 11, we have the Kirasan Black of Kenpui. In gate number 12, we have the Agnes Tachyon of Rendi. And finally, in gate number 13, we have the Gold Ship of Fish, starting in the outermost gate as an end closer there. Gold Ship. Let's see if the Gold Ship of Fish can maximize that good position. And here we go. We are about to start the longest race of this season in the Tennosho Spring. Let's see who wins the Tennosho Spring in Group Semifinals A. Here we go. We arrive here in a very sunny Tennosho Spring in the Kyoto Racecourse. Of course, one of the famous spring races here. It's going to be the hardest endurance challenge for these Umas, as we see here. Number 1 favorite, the Kitasan Black of Syndex. Number 2 favorite, Narita Taishin of Hurricane. Let's see if these two Umas can perform as well as the favorites show. As we're about to start the Tenno Show Spring. The gates are off and they're away. It looks like an early lead by the Maruzensky Summer. It looks like of all Umas, but she has been re-overtaken by one of the Kitasan Blacks. That is the Kitasan Black of. It looks like the two Kitasan Blacks are fighting there. One of them is the Kitasan Black of Kenpui. Looks like she's fighting with the Kitasan Black of Fish early in this race, and also the Kitasan Black of Syndex there, fighting for position. As we see further back there in the Pace Chasers, we see there the Agnes Tachyon of Hurricane currently leading the Pace Chasers. As it looks like a very calm race further back, but it's absolute chaos there. As we see here, the Kitasan Black going neck and neck to see which of these Umas will be taking the lead in the mid-race. It looks very close amongst these three, and also Maruzensky Summer. Can Maruzensky Summer have some space to try and take the lead, potentially? She goes round the outside of the Kitasan Blacks. Will she take the lead? It's very difficult to see here. It looks like the Maruzensky Summer there is going neck and neck with the number 9 Kitasan Black of Fish. She briefly took the lead, but has been given back to the number 9 Kitasan Black of Fish. But Maruzensky Summer has surged into the lead currently. As we see here, it's very calm for the Pace Chasers here. The Agnes Tachyon of Hurricane clear ahead of the Pace Chasers right now. Follow closely. Followed by the number 12 Agnes Tachyon of Randy. They're further back, already being followed by the Gold Ship of Fish. As we're about to approach the last spurt here in the last corner. As we see here, will we see any amazing last spurts by any of these Umas? As we see here, the late surgers and also end closers are closing into the front runners, but it looks like still in the lead is the Kitasan Black of Fish, going into the last straight here, fighting with the Maruzensky Summer of Kenpui, going into the final 100 meters here. Who's going to take the win? It's still the Kitasan Black, the number 9 Kitasan Black of Fish. Pineapple taking the win. There we go. What a brilliant win there by the Kitasan Black of Kenpui. The Kitasan Black of Fish, taking the win, with second place going to the Maruzensky Summer of Kenpui. There we go, to confirm the result. The Kitasan Black of Fish taking the win, with second place going to the Maruzensky Summer of Kenpui, and third place going to the Agnes Tachyon of Hurricane. Second place going to the Maruzensky Summer of Kenpui. In third place going to the Agnes Tachyon of Hurricane. In fourth place going to the Narita Taishin of Hurricane. In fifth place going to the Kitasan Black of Syndex. In sixth place going to the Gold Ship of Fish. In seventh place going to the Ogre Cap Christmas of Syndex. In eighth place going to the Kitasan Black of Kenpui. ninth place, and in 10th place goes to the Umas of Rendienzo Agnes Tech, finishing ahead of Mayano Top Gun. And there we go. That concludes the Tenno Show Spring for the group semifinals A race. And we'll see here. It was a brilliant win by the Kirisan Black of Fish Pineapple, with completing the podium is the Marzenski Summer of Kenpui and also Agnes Tachyon of Hurricane. That's going to be very good for the points tally of the trainers mentioned. But we'll move on to the Tenno Show Spring of the semifinals B race in a moment's time. As we're about to see the trainer that will be winning in the Tenno Show Spring. Of course, same setting as the semifinals A race. As we'll see if Katachi can repeat the same feat in the Tenno Show Spring, of course, being the trainer that finished 1-2 in the Sprinter Stakes. Let's see if he can repeat it in the longest race of the season. As we're about to start the semifinals B race. And here we go. I'm hearing we have live footage from the Kyoto race course, and we'll be moving on to where the Umas will be lining up for that race. Here we go. Let's see where the Umas will be lining up for today's Tenno Show Spring semifinals B race. In gate number 2, we have the Gold Ship of JS. In gate number 3, we have the TM Opera O New Year of Katachi. In gate number 4, we have the Manhattan Cafe of Night. In gate number 5, we have the Okuricap Christmas of Brian. In gate number 6, we have the TM Opera O New Year of Brian. In gate number 7, we have the Meisho Doto of Night. In gate number 8, we have the Gold Ship of Katachi, and also in gate number 9, we have the Gold Ship of Jin. In gate number 10, we have the Okuricap of Jin. In gate number 11, we have the Narita Taishin of Tsubaki. In gate number 12, we have the TM Opera O New Year of JS. And finally, in gate number 13, we have the Mihono Bourbon Valentine of Tsubaki. And here we go. That is the lineup for the Tenno Show Spring in semifinals B. Let's see who wins this time in the Kyoto racecourse. Here we go. We'll be starting the Tenno Show Spring race for semifinals B in an overcast Kyoto racecourse here. Not as good of a condition as the semifinals A race, but nonetheless, the Umas will be performing at 110% in 3,200 meters of the Kyoto racecourse. Of course, the less than ideal weather is not a challenge for any of these Umas. Let's see which of these 12 Umas will be taking the win for their trainer. The gates are off and they're away. It looks like an early lead by the Mihono Valentine of Tsubaki, as she takes an early lead, unchallenged by any frontrunners. Of course, that's the only frontrunner in today's Tenno Spring in the semifinals B. But we'll see amongst the pace chasers who's going to take an early lead going into the mid-race. It looks like the TM Opera O New Year of Katachi taking an early lead amongst the pace chasers. In third place, going to the number 10, Oguricap of Jin taking third place currently going into the mid-race here. Not a short mid-race, of course. As we see here, Oguricap Christmas looks like is trying to challenge the normal Oguricap there. That's the Oguricap of Brian, of course. Oguricap Christmas of Brian with the TM Opera O New Year of JS and Brian, of course, following the lead of the TM Opera O New Year of Katachi, as Katachi's TM Opera O New Year is already looking to close the gap to the Mihono Bourbon Valentine of Tsubaki. Is currently in the lead there, unchallenged, of course. She is the only front runner for this race. As we see amongst the end closers there, it looks like the number 8 Gold Ship of Katachi is also leading the end closer front. It's looking very well for Katachi, as we see here in the mid race here, swinging my share and also anchors away, activated by the Gold Ships. As it looks like there, the end closers are starting to close the gap there. As we see here, the Narita Taishin, Meisho and Knight, they're taking the last 3 spots. As we see here, looks like the Gold Ships are already attacking the pace chasers. As it looks like the number 3 TM Opera O New Year of Katachi is already taking the lead from Mihono Bourbon Valentine. As we see going into this last corner and going to the last spurt, who is going to take the brilliant last spurt that we saw, of course, in the last race there, but still fended off by the front-running Kitasan Black in the last race. As we see here, looks like the race is being controlled by the number 3 TM Opera New Year of Katachi, still with a brilliant lead there. But will she be challenged by one of the Gold Ships or the other pace chasers? As we see here, looks like a Gold Ship around the outside there, but Narita Taishin there in the mid lane there, trying to challenge for the lead. As we go into the last straight here, it's 200 meters remaining. Going into the last straight, it's still the number 3 TM Opera O New Year of Katachi, but will Narita Taishin snatch it at the last meter? And TM Opera O and Narita Taishin finishes together, as we're going to see the result in a few moments time there, who takes the win. It's very close between those two, and it is the TM Opera New Year of Katachi snatching the win there, fending off Narita Taishin of Tsubaki to the line, as Katachi not only takes the first win in the semifinals, he also takes the win in the second round of the semifinals, as Katachi finishes another double podium there, 1-3, with Gold Ship finishing in third place and Narita Taishin losing by a nose at the end, as the Narita Taishin of Tsubaki has to settle for second place there, but still a brilliant result by Tsubaki. But it's Katachi's day, it looks like, as he goes 2 for 2 so far, as he takes up a great lead in the semifinals B. Another win going to Katachi. Second place going to the Narita Taishin of Tsubaki. In third place going to the Gold Ship of Katachi. Katachi is scoring 83 out of 86 points there. Of course, 86 is the maximum amount of points you can score in 2 races, and Katachi is only missing 3 points from the 2 races there. Very dominant by Katachi. He is on track to beat the record for the most amount of points in a single race day. Of course, that's currently held by Rendienzo there. Of course, let's see if he can beat the 111 points that Rendienzo scored in that infamous dirt race day, as we go to see which Umas will be finishing in the positions below the podium. As we see here, the number in 4th place going to the TM Upper O New Year of JS. In 5th place, going to the Oguri Cap Christmas of Brian. In 6th place, going to the Gold Ship of Jin. In 7th place, going to the Mihono Bourbon Valentine of Tsubaki. In 8th place, goes to the TM Opera O New Year of Brian. In 9th place, going to the Gold Ship of JS. And finally, in the last points finishing position, we have in 10th place, the Meisho Doto of Night. And finally, the non-points finishers, the number 11 in P11, we have the Oguri Cap of Jin. And in 12th place, the Manhattan Cafe of Night. There we go, that concludes the Tenosho Spring Races. But we'll be back for more for the last race, which is the Teo Show. Of course, it is a dirt race, a medium dirt race, 2,000 meter of dirt in the Oi race course, and we will be back to you with that race in a few moments' time. But until then, please enjoy the updated UUC Jukebox.
勝手にしていくんだ食いしばった昨日を たでいくフォンテージ見てろさあ激戦の幕開けだボルテージ何者かになりたいとあがき走り追い続ける機械で追い風吹かせギア上げてくぜ近づくたび離れてくほんの少し届かないくらいが一番燃える夢のあり方愛を欲しいものだけが見出せる道があるから走って走って走ってここが少年だ限界突破して焼き付けろさ高速の閃光を冷静だって期待されなくたって食らいついてうまそうぜ
Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone. I hope everyone is ready because we are about to start the Teo Show races. We'll start with the semifinals A race and we'll be moving on to the semifinals B race. After that, as we'll show you now the live footage right from the OI race course. Live from the OI race course.
うまそうぜ
And here we go. This is where the Umas will be lining up for today's race. In gate number 1, we have the Ogre Gap of Hurricane. In gate number 2, we have the Agnes Digital of Hurricane. In gate number 5, we have the Ogre Gap of Fish. In gate number 5, there we go, Ogre Gap, the normal Ogre Gap for Fish. In gate number 6, we have the Taiki Shuttle of Rendi. In gate number 7, we have the Agnes Digital of Syndex. In gate number 8, we have the Ogre Gap Christmas of Kenpui. In gate number 9, we have the Maruzensky Summer of Kenpui. In gate number 10, we have the El Condor Pasa of Syndex. In gate number 11, we have the Ogre Gap Christmas of Rendi. In gate number 12, we have the El Condor Pasa Kulkukam Warrior of Fish. And that is it. That is where the Umas will be lining up for the Teo Show race in semifinals A. And let's see who wins in this dirt medium G1 race.
うまそうぜ
Here we go. Let us see which of the Umas will be winning in a rather unconventional G1 race. It is a dirt race. Not only it's a dirt race, it is a medium race. And being the OI race course, there is no elevation changes in this race. And as of course, any skill that activates because of any elevation changes will not be activated in this particular race. As you see, El Condor Pasa, number 1 favorite from Syndex and Taiki Shuttle of Rendi Enzo, number 2 favorite. Let's see if they can live up to the hype as we're about to start the race. The gates are off and they're away. It looks like an early lead by one of the Taiki Shuttles, but it looks like has been overtaken by the Maruzensky Summer of... It looks like the Maruzensky Summer of... looks like Kenpui's Maruzensky Summer there. Yep, that is right. Number 9, Maruzensky Summer of Kenpui taking an early lead, followed by the Taiki Shuttle of Rendi in second place, but has been re-overtaken by the... an AI there. Looks like one of the NPCs there taking second place early in this race, beating the other Uma's there, of course. As we see here in the mid-race, still the Marozensky Summer of Kenpui in the lead, with Taiki Shuttle of Randy in second place, followed closely by one of the Oguri Cap Christmases, as we can see here. The number 11 Oguri Cap Christmas. It looks like the Oguri Cap Christmas of Randy is currently in third place there. As we see here, which of these Umas will be having that great last spurt? Of course, it seems like Marozensky Summer is taking a great lead currently, as we see here. Going into these last straights here. Oh, look at that. The Oguri Cap Christmases are already with activating Festive Miracle. Their ults have been activated. It looks like the number 11 Oguri Cap Christmas of Randy is currently in the lead. And get down to the last straight here. Let's see if the Oguri Cap Christmas of Randy can retain that lead. Currently challenged by the late surging Agnes Digital and El Condor Pasa Kulkam Warrior, but it's going to be the Oguri Cap Christmas of Randy taking the win in the Teo Show. Second place goes to the Agnes Digital of Syndex. And in third place, we'll see who completes the podium there. It looks like the El Condor Pasa Kulkukam Warrior of Fish taking third place. There we go. Randy Enzo wins in the Teo Show. We have three different winners in the semifinals A races. And it's going to be very interesting to see who takes an early lead in the semifinals A, of course. Nothing to separate any of these 5 trainers so far. Unfortunately, no Magishi. In second place, we have the Agnes Digital of Syndex. And third place, El Condor Pasa Kulkukam Warrior of Fish. There we go, a brilliant late surge by the late surgers, but unfortunately they cannot beat the Oguri Cap Christmas of Randy Enzo, finishing in first place. Fish Pineapple taking another podium in these races. In fourth place going to the Taiki Shuttle of Randy. In fifth place, going to the Oguri Cap Christmas of Kenpui. In sixth place, goes to the Oguri Cap of Fish. In seventh place, the El Condor Pasa of Syndex. In eighth place, goes to the Agnes Digital of Hurricane. In ninth place, goes to the Marozensky Summer of Kenpui. And finally, in 10th place, goes to the Oguri Cap of Hurricane. And there we go, that concludes the Teo Show and the races for semifinals A, but we still have one more race to go, and that is, of course, the Teo Show race for semifinals B. We've seen Katachi taking 3 for 3 in the semifinals races, the first 2 semifinal races. Let's see if he can go 3 for 3 this time in the dirt medium race. As we will be providing you with the Teo Show race in a few moments' time. If we have the live footage from the OE race course, I'm hearing we have the live footage now. Here we go. We have the list of Umas. We can see where they're lined up. We're lined up for today's Teo Show race in the semifinals B race. We have the Oguri Cap Christmas of Tsubaki in gate number 1. In gate number 2, we have the Agnes Digital of Tsubaki, starting besides her teammate. In gate number 3, we have the Morozensky Summer of JS. In gate number 4, we have the Ogrigap of Knight. In gate number 6, we have the Smart Falcon of Brian. Sorry, that's the... Yes, that is the Smart Falcon of Brian. In gate number 7, we have the El Condor Pasa of Brian again. Brian starting 6 and 7 for this race. In gate number 8, we have the Smart Falcon of Jin. In gate number 9, we have the Morozensky Summer of Knight. In gate number 10, we have the Taiki Shuttle of Jin. In gate number 11, we have the Agnes Digital of JS. In gate number 12, we have the El Condor Pasa of Katachi. And finally, in gate number 13, we have the Agnes Digital of Katachi. Katachi starting 12th and 13th place here. Let's see if that's gonna work out for Katachi. Of course, the trainer that has won 2 for 2 now in the semifinals B races. And let's see. Here we go. We're about to start the Teo Show race. Let's see who wins this time in the semifinals B race. Here we go. We're starting once again in the night in Oi Racecourse. It is the Teo Show. We've seen Ogrigap Crystal Sovereignty winning just before this race. Let's see who wins. Can the Ogrigap Christmas that has been entered here, of course by Tsubaki, let's see if she can win in this particular dirt race. Agnes Digital of Tsubaki, number 1 favorite, and El Condor Pasa of Brian, number 1, number 2 favorite respectively. Let's see if they can live up to the expectations being put on them. And let's see here. The race is underway. As we see here, it looks like an early lead by the Smart Falcons and Morozensky Summers, but let's see who takes the lead, the early lead. It is the number 9 Morozensky Summer of Knight currently in the lead, but has been being challenged by one of the Smart Falcons there. But she has fended off that early challenge, and the number 9 Morozensky Summer of a Knight currently in the lead there. Who would have thought? As we see here, oh, the number 6 Smart Falcon. That's the number 6 Smart Falcon of Brian taking the lead, but Morozensky Summer of Knight is not letting that go without a fight. As we see in the mid-race here, it's currently the Smart Falcon of Brian challenging for position with the number 9 Morozensky Summer of Knight. They're currently fighting for the lead with the Morozensky Summer, of course, of JS, and also the Smart Falcon of Jin right behind them. As we are going to go to the last corner and last spurt, but it looks like a strong lead so far by the Morozensky Summer of Knight. Can Knight take the win with Morozensky Summer? It looks like the late series are trying to close the gap right now, and the pace chasers are already amongst the front runners. As we see here, look at that, the last surge by one of the El Condor Pasa. That is the El Condor Pasa of Katachi going into the lead there. Can Katachi go 3 for 3 with El Condor Pasa? Oh, look at that. On the last straight here, we have Agnes Digital, that number 2 Agnes Digital of Tsubaki taking the win in the last straight there. What an upset there. Katachi almost going 3 for 3, but has been denied by Tsubaki. As Tsubaki's Agnes Digital takes the win in the last 10 meters there. And there we go. There we go. The Agnes Digital of Tsubaki taking first and third, with Ogrigap Crystals in third place, and El Condor Pasa of Katachi has to settle for second place, but it was agonizingly close to Katachi going 3 for 3, but still, of course, Katachi is still going to be very proud of that result. Second place in the Teo Show. Of course, second place, El Condor Pasa of Katachi. Third place going to the Ogricap Christmas of Tsubaki. The Ogricap Christmases are finishing very well in these races. In fourth place, we have the El Condor Pasa of Brian. In fifth place goes to the Morozenski Summer of Knight. In sixth place, we have the Smart Falcon of Brian. In seventh place, we have the Morozinski Summer of JS. In eighth place, we have the Agnes Digital of Katachi. In ninth, we have the Ogricap of Knight. And finally, in 10th place, we have the Smart Falcon of Jin. Here we go. Let's see the non-points finishers. In 11th place, we have the Taiki Shuttle of Jin. And finally, in 12th place, we have the Agnes Digital of JS. There we go. That concludes the first 3 races of the semifinals. With how short the semifinals are, that concludes the first half of the semifinals. And stay tuned to where the trainers are in the standings, in their respective standings. But of course, that's going to be after the race. But for now, the trainers can ponder over what could have been or what has been for the trainers that have won or have scored very good points. And that concludes the first race day in the semifinals. And of course, just to give you a little recap of the result there, or more like the winners of the races today, we had Syndex winning in the Sprinter Stakes, starting with the semifinals A races. Syndex winning in the Sprinter Stakes, Fish winning in the Tenno Show Spring, and Rendy finishing first place in the Teo Show. And moving on to the semifinals B races, we had Katachi winning in Sprinter Stakes and also the Tenno Show Spring. Katachi winning in the shortest and also the longest G1 races. But in the Teo Show, he couldn't quite go 3 for 3, as in the Teo Show it goes to Suwaki. And that concludes the races in the semifinals. Stay tuned for the second race day in the semifinals, or the last race day, the race day that where we will see who will go to the finals. But that will be in the 28th of May 2026, so stay tuned for that. But for now, I hope you enjoyed those races. Hope you enjoyed the races that we have here in Uma Sports Uma Musume Championship. And of course, we'll see you again in the race courses. I'm Randy Enzo, the lead commentator in Uma Sports Uma Musume Championship, and hopefully everyone has a wonderful day or night, and goodbye everyone.
back on